Oh.
Internet.
My camera.
Yeah, when you do that, now you are the DM, so start going.
That was fast.
No, I refuse. It was a quick campaign.
Right.
GG, guys. All right. Oh, today's the 6th anniversary of Pokemon Go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey.
I would like Pokemon Go more if all the people that I knew that play it weren't pieces of shit.
Say it like a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not a bunch. So I like it more now.
We could do trades. It would be fun.
There's just so many people that play it. They're like I told you about the guy that fucking gave me a ride to work and was playing it, and then fucking swerved his fucking car because he not paying attention to the road and shit like that. There's so many people like that that I've met, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Like it literally says it. It literally says it when you log into the game. Like, don't do that. You know, like.
Well, the funny
Stop.
thing is,
Stop it.
I don't know how he did that because it's supposed to know when you're moving too fast and it won't let you do anything.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. I have a spell list. I've got a spell shopping list.
Okay. Let's talk about that on the when we hit that live. But
We
it's
are
already
live.
live.
Oh,
Yep.
we are live. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said we're just gonna go live. Bam.
No, I know you said that we were just going to go. You gotta really nail me. Hi,
Hello,
chat.
Riley.
Hello. Fuck
I don't
it.
know what happened. Yeah, we have no idea.
Hello, everybody. Sometimes streams are annoying and stupid. So we are back. Thank you if you are still here. We have found ourselves at the other end of the little makeshift quest to return this poor, somewhat schizophrenic rat to his people. And as it turns out, this rat was a prince all along. No kissing required. No kissing required.
But maybe eventually.
Maybe. Rhea?
Nope.
Come on, you can't say he wasn't at least a little bit attractive.
I bet he would taste fine.
Yes, he looks delectable. But yeah, you guys find yourself outside of the large Temple of Thar, waiting to figure out what you want to do next. Where are you going? What are you doing? The world is your oyster.
I'm gonna pause it to the group. All right. I think if we just, we made this journey down. Rhea, I know we'll get to we'll get up to Stoneshire as soon as possible. But I would like to suggest we spend the night here. I'd like to just walk around, fill a few more sketches, collect some information, and then late tomorrow morning we could make our way up and proceed onward. And then we all have business to take care of in Stoneshire. Are you okay with that?
I mean, I'm not going to go back by myself.
Appreciated. What about you, Cascade? Did you find that all right?
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna waterfalls and find some good dirt. I need to find a good box. That's what I should have asked the queen. Dang it! A good box.
I'm sure there's a marketplace here, and we'd be able to do all of that. Let's find an inn or a tavern first. Settle down, and then we can split, and then we know where at least we have a returning point.
Yes, split the party.
More montage style, at least. But
Or we could go
Yeah,
all to the same places together, montage style.
absolutely. But I probably would have asked for like directions to like if there's like a specific district that's usually bustling, or like we could find inns or taverns, just to
Um,
experience some of the local
I mean,
culture.
like they're kind of just. I mean, you would know better than me, but I feel like it's very much like a Britain, kind of, Scotland, England, that kind of thing where you could find a little bit of everything, a little bit of everywhere, you know. Um, Everything's within walking distance, you know. There is of course a higher end part of town where some fancy shops are, magical and otherwise, that you can possibly.
Hold
Uh,
on, man.
the Hall of Augments is up in Stoneshire, but yeah,
Okay.
you could certainly visit there as well. Take you
Is
probably an
there
hour, hour and a half.
what type of creatures are used here as like we would utilize horses? Because obviously horses are above ground creatures, I
You
would
actually
imagine. But
don't see beasts of burden at all. Um,
oh,
there, there, there isn't that sort of industry, at least down here in Coolwater. Um, like, if there are people that are, if there are things that are like taking, um, uh, they're like carts and things like that, it'd actually be more boats. And
boats,
then
boats.
those, yeah, the they would like push themselves around to wherever they're going, and then it seems they either magically or physically like pull it themselves, like a cart, like a wheelbarrow or something like that. They Yeah, it is odd to see, most definitely.
Um, yeah, we'll find just a ye old like mid-level kind of tavern. Um,
Hmm.
I would imagine there's not really an opportunity to find something super squalid down here from everything you've described. Everything is
No.
probably starting at like at a mid-level baseline anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Like in Stone Shear, there. I mean, like the closest that you would get to Squalid would be Stone Shear.
yeah.
But nothing there's going to be like a fucking flea-ridden, you know, bunch of hay on a cot, kind of place. All of them are going to probably have beds that are clean. Anything magical to use to clean yourself, um, but yeah, down here, especially in cool water, the inns are nice. It's like a fucking Four Seasons or something like that. Nothing super fancy, but
Um,
I just did it. I figured it out.
hell yeah.
what?
Figured out how to separate them.
Oh,
Yeah, trees.
Your suit. You were very loud, right?
I am.
okay. Yes,
Well, I'll
a
adjust it
little
on
bit.
my end. I have you up to
Oh,
200%.
I was right
Just
here
don't worry.
talking sideways.
Oh,
So
yes.
No,
that too loud
no,
still?
that's. I think when you just changed something clicked,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
now
I
it's
went
just coming
like
straight at you.
this. Yeah.
Um,
And I'll talk
uh,
over here.
but no, it's fine. No, you're good.
Yeah.
I just adjusted you on my end. Yeah, I mean, we'll just go find one standard looking place.
Sure.
Maybe like halfway between the castle and like the stairway back up. So that we're
Sure.
like a nice like little equidistant point.
So that would be within kind of like the like civilian ring. Not to say, because in Disc, it's there are some very strictly defined districts. Like there are like thick walls, or gates and things like that separate.
Starting to
Um,
think that there's a
and
no.
it is it is usual for you to not be, able to like avoid an entire district in order to walk around to another one, as opposed to walking through, which would be much faster. Here, though, everybody's kind of like on equal footing, as it were. There's definitely people that are more wealthy and less wealthy, things like that. But they don't separate in that way. God, I know, just such a starstruck bullshit way of imagining the world. No, we couldn't possibly have this. Total fantasy. Anyway, Brandon's like, yeah, no, it's just goddamn
That's why we make it, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Be a little
I would
bit
prefer to see the world this way, but disc is how the world really is. Including the ignorance of the masses. Anyway,
Or is there a great
and the
being
murder.
called the
Yeah.
bird who feels the burns that I could call to save guys? Sorry, I'm done.
yeah,
Indeed.
there's an Eric Cochran card or Blue Jay named Bernie that that goes around and inspires people. And it is a strange situation for you too, Rhea, because in Eric Cochran's society, in your half of the world, there are strict military ranks. You say yes sir, no sir, to your superiors, and you expect yes sir and no sir from your inferiors. And from what you know of Owlfolk society, it's very similar. If you are an owlet and short, you are wearing a gi, and you listen to what the taller owls say. And that's
very
it.
cute.
Yeah. You've seen a couple of them.
Oh.
But so it's definitely like, oh shit, what the fuck? It's definitely a culture shock to see people just the way that they interact with each other is a lot more casual. They're just living their lives. But you do find yourselves an inn. It is called the Whiskey Tooth. The Whiskey Tooth Inn. And there's a picture of a tooth that is like sticking out of it's sticking out of a whiskey jar. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
It's just a bottle of whiskey with the cork being a tooth.
Yeah, exactly.
So realistically, all Auburn really wants to do is just sit down, grab something to eat, and then walk around and just take sketches and just take notes, spend the night, and then move on. So it seems like there's a more immediate matter for Cascade, and Auburn's happy to accompany Cascade to the marketplace.
Sure. What you're looking for the box with soil?
Yeah, so I'd like to find a very high quality box that I can open. Like it's gotta be protectable. I mean, like sealable. Because he needs darkness, I assume, inside the box as well.
So you
Sorry.
go
also,
ahead and roll.
Just for your wants, Cascade, I've got a bag of holding. So if you do find the right type of soil and you want to buy more, I can store it.
Oh,
I can also, my ecology, I can also give nutrients to the soil as well.
Oh, that's perfect. He said it had to have great nutrients. I was just gonna poop and then mix it in, but that's way better.
Go ahead and roll investigation check with advantage to see what you can find, because these are more like shops rather than like an open marketplace. Like I said, Stone Shear is the place to find that kind of like crazy, bizarre atmosphere, both literally and figuratively bizarre.
Bizarre. 17.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to a couple places. Some of these shops are labeled very, very well. Clothing or their magical items or potions, things like that. Other places are less well labeled, and you kind of go into one of them, and it seems to be like a smithy, but they're like, yeah, we don't do wood here. But you might want to check out Alvarez's shop down the way, and you go to this little shop that's squished in. It's a little stone building that's squished in between two larger, kind of like almost like luxury. Like there's a tuxedo shop basically, like for fancy events, and then there right next to it there's a place for I can't even think of it, like gem cutting, like stone carving. So like a jewelry shop basically. Um, and but right in the middle there's this little place that has a lot of wood as opposed to the stone, and it's very well carved and manicured wood, and it seems to be a carpentry shop.
That's the place.
You go inside, and
Have we
inside
also seen any farming supply stores at all while we're walking around? That's the second thing I'd look for.
you have not found one yet.
Okay.
There's a inside. There are uh, there's the smell of wood, which is pretty rare, right? You know, you don't like in in you smelled it a lot in Proudmoore, but not. I mean, it's not super common in Sky Cities, and most of the stuff down below has been um, stone in nature, unless we're talking about like crates and things like that. And even that has been made from like kind of interesting materials sometimes. Sometimes it feels like almost rubbery or different, just because there isn't a lot of trees, especially in the Underdark. So you go inside, and there is the smell of kind of like oak and cedar and pine, and it is a calming experience for you, Cascade, because you haven't smelled these smells in, you know, what would it be now, a week or two, since leaving Flor Novu, and yeah, you step inside.
I'm probably just
While
gonna get lost in.
while they're doing this, I just realized how this sounds. So let me start by saying that I'm gonna go watch children.
Sure,
Yep.
sure.
Not in any kind of like
Yeah,
maybe
no,
they
I
might
get
think it's
what you're saying.
creepy, but
I get what you're saying.
I'm gonna go watch them play and think
Sure.
about things.
You do so. I will get back to you shortly. Inside, uh, in the back, you can hear like the knocking of some sort of activity, like clock, 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 and you know, like
And
what
very
is apparently
unironically
planning.
actually playing like sounds of workmanship like
Right.
background right now.
So you hear that in the background, and you see there's a little brass bell on a very well carved wooden not desk, counter. That. um, the sounds in the back come to an abrupt stop. There's some words exchanged. The sounds continue, and then one a kind of utilitarian dressed drowish man comes to the front. His silver hair is short cropped. He has a something that you never see on elves. He actually has the stubble of a beard, but it's very close knit. Like, but it is if it ever grows out, it'll be very very thick. And yeah, you find that a little off putting. You're like, what the fuck? But and you see their very dark, like purple skin, covered by overalls and with suspenders. And they say, Yes. What do you need for it today? Are you coming to pick something up? Anywheres?
Oh, me. No.
You're the only
Uh,
person, well, other than him inside the room.
yeah. Are you all drow?
What do you mean by that?
I've never seen a drow with a beard before. It's
Who's a beard?
beautiful.
No. My blood is not entirely drowish.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever you are, I like your beard. So,
Well, thank
I.
you.
What's your name? Cascade.
Uh, my name is Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah,
Good.
because I can't think of other names. And people exist in the real world with multiple
Normal
different
names.
names. Get used to it. um,
So, I'd really love if I could have a box, like a really nice box.
what size box and what is it for?
It's for one of those little
True.
sprouts, and I pull the a staff up and I point and I say, for him. We
Oh,
need something for him to
oh,
grow, and
is that a myconid spore?
he's a little, yeah, his name is Thar. I thought it was fitting.
I guess it's yes.
I guess we should call him
Um,
Thar.5 or something, you know, because I
or
saw Thar.
maybe mini Thar.
Yeah, mini Thar. Yeah.
Yes. And he looks at you. He says, "I like you." And he kind of like rummages below the thing, and he pulls out three separate boxes of various sizes. One's very small, like a little bit like this, and one's a little bit larger, and one's like this big. He says, "Are you going to be keeping it?" Um,
Yeah. I could buy
uh,
all those boxes, as long as there's a nice way to make sure it stays closed. Good mechanism.
oh yes, they all come with. This one has a clasp. This one has a lock, and this one's very special. And he hands you the box. It looks like wood, but it is not wood. It is actually made of mushroom. Um, and you can tell once you hold it how light it is, and kind of like it's not squishy, but like you could tell. He's like, yes, this is actually made from mushrooms, so it's kind of fitting. It's rather large, but it definitely it is magical in nature, as it was made from the mushroom. Um, it's don't worry, little one. It is not your ancestor. And
The
he
non-thinking
opens
ones,
it up.
right?
He opens it up, and as he opens it up, it catches a little bit, and you could hear like flink, like a almost like you hear in sci-fi movies, like magnetic, like release, and there's like a little bit of light that releases out from the container. It's like I don't know why I did not enchant it. Um, it is simply this way, but it does cost a little bit more money. I assure you, though, it will keep your Myconid safe and uh,
Keep
well
the soil
fortified.
moist and all that jazz.
I am sure.
Wonderful. How much looking for these wonderful boxes? If I purchase all three, what would it be a fair price for you and the work you did for them?
The small one, the clasp is bronze, so it takes a little bit more care, but not too expensive. Two good pieces.
Okay.
The medium one has the lock, which is a little more complicated, and it is larger, but not a big issue. So it would be three gold pieces. But this, as a magical item, uh, it is a little more rare. In fact, it's the only one that I've ever seen. Um, this would be 15 gold pieces for this box.
Okay. So how about just for your wonderful demeanor and the encouragement to make more wonderful things instead of 20 gold, I'll give you 25 for the lot. and
Oh, that is
consider these.
unnecessary.
Oh, no, no. You good craftsmen are hard to find, especially ones with good attitudes. And man, that beard's got an attitude all itself.
Oh, you flatter my friends. I charge what it requires.
And I pay
I
what
do
it's
not
worth.
need extra. I do not need it, but I very much appreciate. How about this?
Hmm.
There is uh
Oh my god, the coin sound effect
places.
randomly came into the.
There is places for children uh who do not
Orphanages?
have. Yes, you take that 5 gold, you go to an orphanage, help some of these
They have those
rat
here?
folk children. Of course, they care very much for their children, but at times money runs dry, or perhaps you can get them
Do
some
you
treats.
do you go and help there with the kids ever?
From time to time, I carve a little toy, or send it to them. It's
Okay, cool.
it's a part of my. I just enjoy making things.
Ooh, that I feel like we can marry the two. What is something you know those kids need that you could do, but they probably couldn't pay for it, just because, I assume being an orphanage, you don't have a lot of coin.
The queen takes good care of the children, but
Oh,
of course it is not always easy for them to acquire um, like good solid pencils.
hmm.
And I create pencils here that are magical in nature. They are expensive.
How much
They
are
are a
they?
gold. They are a gold apiece. Um, but
Do you think 50 pencils would be good for the kids to last them for a while?
and he kind of like, huh. He
Because
like
I can
takes
commission
he's
work
taken
from you
aback,
and help them.
and he's like, that I'm sure would be loved by them for drawing, for mathematics, for various things. Please,
Say less,
if
friend, and I just put 50 gold out. I stack it, and I'm like, there you
he's
go.
like, here,
Commission.
take the Z-boxes, enjoy. I
Yeah.
This would go to good use. And he says, uh, Anna, we have work. We have good work. And he says, sir, you are a beautiful man. Um, I wish you all the best. If you ever
Hmm.
need something for us here, please feel free to come by. We will give you a good rate. And yes, with these
Thank you,
pencils
Marcus.
would be done quickly, magical. In fact, and he goes underneath the desk and he has one. This is the last one from the last batch. I would like you to have it.
Ah,
Or,
cool. Thanks, man. This
and
is beautiful.
he
I need to give you a gold for it, though. Yes.
no, no.
So I paid for 51. Okay.
A magical writing utensil.
That's
Mhm.
two. I do. I don't want to spend two. I love Marcus. But I would love to at least shake his hand and just thank him. Just being
He says,
helpful
and
sometimes.
he um you didn't really notice until just a moment ago when he like perked up really big, but he's kind of been almost crouching the whole time. And you
Oh,
notice when you shake his hand, he like stands up straight. He's like 7.5 feet tall, and he has markings on his skin that are very, 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 very faint, like dark markings that
like indicative of like
indicate
scar tissue or something.
they indicate something that LR knows, but you as a character would not know, because you've never seen these type of folk before.
I'd
But
probably note it mentally, but not say anything. Yeah, I'd just be like,
yeah,
eat.
but his grip is ferocious. Not only the
Wonderful.
hands of a carpenter, but also the hands of a very, very.
So, I have a question for you.
Yes.
dungeon master.
Oh, DM.
At some point, I'm going to put this in my long-term goals, but I'm going to tell you right now. I want to find some wood from the tree that I can procure at some point in Flor Nouveau, bring tomorrow. So
Okay.
that he can work with some, like, above-ground, like, non-fungal wood or root wood, you know, so that,
Yeah.
you know, give him something interesting. Maybe create something fun for himself to sell or for his family or something. But I'm going to put that
Most
in.
definitely.
Sweet.
Yeah, totally. All right. So there you go. You found yourself a box, and just for kind of the sake of time, I will say you find a person who works on potted plants and stuff like that. It's actually a young like gnomish woman who she freshly opened her shop, and she loves potted plants, and she thinks everybody should have a potted plant. You should have a potted plant. And you should have a potted plant. And she's
How much
like
for
very
dessert?
bubbly, and and she sells you some soil and things like that, and provides you with like a little bit of knowledge and insight as to what mushrooms need in particular, and you have that knowledge now. I'm not going to reiterate it because I am not a mycologist, but
Yeah. And I will
she is
also have
trained.
Rhea help me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Definitely. So there it is. You have fulfilled the your needs for the day. Rhea, you find yourself during this interaction with Marcus, as well as maybe just a little bit after, like Marcus, points Cascade across the streets. Cascade doesn't need to go far, but during this whole time that Cascade is interacting with these shopkeepers, you're sitting in a small square. You notice that the stone that makes up this square is actually just stone from the earth, like it was naturally cut from this area instead of uh, being like brought from somewhere else, right? Um, Most likely from magical means centuries and centuries ago. It's very beautiful, but in certain spots there have been hollowed out areas where dirt and things can grow, like some shrubby grasses and mushrooms and things like that people walk by. Some sit on a big old toadstool, and some sit on the benches in like these parks. And there are trees, but they are very, they're as much as the magic is able to, cast down and make everything lit. The trees are still, rather stunted. They're small and full of foliage, but they're just little guys. You appreciate your druids up in Shroudmore a lot more for this, as your trees are rather present. But you find yourself kind of just looking around. There's children playing. A little rat kid is playing with a gnomish girl, and they're just having fun running around. There's an old rat woman who's having a what seems to be a pleasant conversation with another drowish woman that is quite aged as well, sitting on a park bench, and you get a couple looks, nothing mean or sneering, but you're definitely the only Aarakocra around, and what do you do here?
I would walk up to one of the trees and just lean against it and just contemplate things.
So the tree it's gnarled. It's almost like I forgot the name of the tree, but like a bonsai tree, because there's bonsai is a style of making trees, but you get what I'm saying. but like that kind of gnarled style, and like it looks like it may have actually indeed been formed over a long period of time. But it's not too tall. The leaves are just right above your head, and you're pretty short. So, but um, as you sit there, kind of contemplating life and the world, the place that you now find yourself in, so strange and so against what you have known, for so long. Um, the rat woman finishes her conversation with the drowish woman. Drowish woman, kind of says bye. I'll talk to you later, and then kind of wanders away. And the old rat lady kind of sniffs the air, and she says, "Is that an Aarakocra I smell?" And she kind of looks in your direction, and you can see that her eyes are, like full of cataracts, just completely whited out. Um, and she kind of motions in your direction.
Yes. I'm just here. I've got a little free time before my next mission, so I thought I'd come
Oh,
in.
free time. I find myself with a lot of it nowadays. Well, why don't you come and sit?
And I'll walk over to the bench and I'll sit down.
What brings one of the free flying feathered folk of the skies above? What brings them so far down below?
We're looking for a man or a bird um, who's become quite a problem for our tribe.
Oh, so trouble it is, then.
Yes.
I certainly know trouble as well. It was many years ago that I found myself up above in the fog. It was quite scary.
It seems that you rat folk don't handle it very well.
Oh no, certainly not. I remember flashes of it was a long time ago. Probably 30 or 40 years now. I was just a young lass then, and some of us fool children. We think that we need to prove our stuff. Show that we're brave, that we know a thing or two about the world. But one of the young boys that I had a fancy for, he challenged me. He said, "Oh, you're not so tough. You couldn't step out into the fog." And, well, I tried to prove him wrong. It was a fear that I felt, like gnawing in the back of the mind. Then suddenly you just lose yourself for a little while, days. When I came to, it was nighttime. There were other rats, the small kind, little ones, who were swarming around me, and some of them nipped at my ankles, and some of them tried to climb up my pants. But I found myself surrounded by these red-eyed, chittering creatures, quite alarming. You ever seen them? Our kin up top?
Yes, that's. Other than these past few days, that's all I've seen of your kin.
Oh, darling. And she puts her hand on your knee. She says, "Oh, I wouldn't wish that for anyone."
I'm very confused right now.
Oh?
grown up my whole life, told to fear the rat folk, fear the night, never touch the ground. And here I am, talking with one. No offense.
Oh, none taken. None taken. It's it's an odd thing. If you give a plant, she points down to some of the mushrooms and the shrubs. If you give them soil, they'll grow. Give them water, they'll grow better. But if you trap them in one place, you put a box around them, or you wrap them, they only grow a certain way, like these trees here. So, all they know is the box that they're grown in. All they know is how to follow the little threads that keep them tied down. But once you remove them from the box, once you untie the threads, through a lot of healing and a lot of change, they grow. Just like the counterparts in other places.
I don't think it was malicious.
Oh,
and that's
no.
what's part of what the inner turmoil I'm dealing with. Is that while I don't think what I learned was wrong for the situation, I'm learning that it is wrong overall.
Well, I know that if I went back up there, I would rather have your knowledge than mine.
I think the important point is to have both.
With that, I would agree with you, young miss.
Yes. Well, I must be on my way. I
Oh, nonsense. Are you
still
hungry?
have my ways. I could eat. We were going to meet
Of
up
course
at the
you can.
tavern.
And she kind of like pushes herself up on her cane. She's like, got a few spare silvers in my pocket, and dang it, I'm gonna spend them. Come on. And she takes you by the hand, and or the claws, and she kind of like stumbles her way over to a kiosk, just kind of like on the other side of the park, and over the next hour or so, 30 minutes, however long, she tells you stories, and she just talks to you. You get the same feeling that it's those stories that you've gotten from older Aarakocra, the same kind of silliness, the same kind of grandiosity that the aged and wizened add to their fables about their lives. Maybe it's to make them look a little better, or maybe it's to just make you smile a little bit more, and maybe you feel a little bit more like smiling first time in a while.
I'm just saying too. Sorry to break out. I was just thinking
No,
of
you're
the
fine.
stereotypical. I try to pay for it, and she says, "No, it's on me, dear." And she answers,
Yeah.
and we go back and forth, and finally, eventually, I just like sneak a gold piece into her pocket.
Sure. Slide a hand check.
Yeah. I do have a +4 to it.
There you go.
She's blind.
19.
So she has a -5.
She's
when
literally
she has blind.
blind.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you sneak it right back in. But yeah, you spend some time. Is there anything you'd
That's
like to
my
talk
day.
to her about, or that's your day? Okay, cool.
I
No,
just
we
really would love
just
if
talk.
eventually, if you guys are having your food outdoors, once I'm done and I find you, and you're talking about taking the box away, I just want to walk up and be like, "Look, I found a box for my mushroom." That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. Can you join us? Because I had mentioned to her that, I was supposed to meet up with you guys for dinner at the end. Now we're
Well, I'm
too
glad
afraid.
I would happily
spoil your
listen to her
appetite.
stories.
And she bids you farewell once it's time to leave, and she just kind of puts her hand up to you to find your cheek and kind of hits the side of your beak, and she's like, "It's all right. It's okay to be afraid, but it's even better to be brave." And she just walks away.
Single tear. And Ray kind of like wipes it away. Says, "All right, Cascade, we should probably find Auburn."
I can sense water a lot of places. Did you just have a tear?
No, it's raining.
Oh, right, underground, totally. Yeah.
There's a dude with a spring, like with a hose, magical hose, and he's just like, "Oh, it's time to water."
I think,
I would show you the box, too. She's like,
Yeah. and I'd be like, "Oh, and a little bit of dinner comes back up, and I just drop it, deposit in the box."
Is that how you
Yes.
make the soil better?
You know how many nutrients are in there
Nope.
from both my gut and the food that we ate.
So you mind doing that when I'm not around?
But you were okay with making
No.
poop into the soil with your own
I was
hands.
going to do it when
That's
no one was
disgusting.
around. You did it by yourself.
This is a natural part of life.
I'll get used
Wild
to
if
it.
that's where we draw the line.
I will get used to it.
Can you believe
Thank
that
you very
there's some
much.
Aerocrockers that said that you shouldn't beak feed in public?
Yes.
Shameful.
It's a natural process, man.
Is Auburn just chilling with?
I mean, once
I
you've
was
got
probably
the boxes
watching
and
us
you're
right
just
now.
like walking around, I probably would have been like, all right, I'm just gonna head back to the inn, and then I'm just sitting there at the bar, just like, and whenever you come to find me, and I just got a couple of I'm like maybe 2 pints in, and I'm just working through my notebook, collecting
Well, I
notes.
built a whole stick village inside of the dirt for him. I've built a little hut, a little area he can light his fires if he wants to. He probably won't.
I would have liked to buy just a couple notebooks, if I'm able to.
Of course,
like
yeah.
a stack of 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's like a silver piece for a couple of very high quality notebooks.
Yeah, and whenever you find Auburn, you're gonna see that he's actually starting to collate and aggregate all of this information. So like he's got one working book right now where you come up to him and he kind of just like you say, "Oh, what's up?" And they're like, "Yeah,
Hi.
what's going on?" And you're just seeing him like sketch out a rough plan of a book, and like an actual book of kind of like this is the adventures that we've been on, what we've seen, not like a narrative, but more like a biography with
Chronicle.
information. A chronicle, yeah, exactly. Just recounting with as accurate of all the information is taken.
But you have drawings.
With drawings, taking the queen up on her offer, he would have gone to find Scritches earlier, just really quickly, be like, hey, listen, if those books your sister said she'd get us, this is where we're staying, and then he would have gone back to the inn if she does send a couple of those historical books. But that's, I think, something that Auburn will be working on, is working on collating all of this into like an aggregate, like one book that he can kind of eventually at one point, like a chronicle of his tales down here and what he's learned, have as his like contribution to the Order of the Scribes.
That's a mighty contribution. If you don't get assassinated while you're up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, and you met a couple rat folk that were out there having, they like the whiskey tooth in very much, and they're kind of like jibing you, and you're laughing with them a little bit while you're sketching and having a good time, and maybe you take a sketch down of them, and it's super nice, and they're like, oh my god, they're kind of like drunk a little bit, and
Yeah, because with
having a
my
good
quill I
time with
can
it.
write it on surfaces and also rub it away, so I'd assure
Yeah,
the bartender or whatever that I'm not permanently damaging, and so
right.
I'd do little things for them.
Yeah, they buy you drinks. Uh, but you come to the end of your day. A lot of craziness happened, since you woke up that morning, um, and you find yourself. It might be a strange place. It might be new, but you seem to feel comfortable here. Like you're not running from anything, and you're getting ready to pursue those very important goals, especially Rhea. Um, and you're prepared to do so. And we will call it there for tonight. We didn't spend too much after the break, but I think it's good enough. Damn it.
Hell yeah. Yay. Yay.
Yay!
Oh,
Chat, I
I
hope
mean
you
it. Yay.
enjoyed. Chat, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Another One Lightborn, and I hope you come again next week, and I hope that we come again next week for another week of this. What I didn't realize was going to be such a fish out of water tale, but it's panning together in a really fun way. So I'm really enjoyed myself. Uh, yeah, have a good one, everybody. Enjoy some music by Revelries,
Huh?
and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I miss you.
Oh, wow.